My dad and I have started a Youth to Goal challenge. A challenge that could take us 13 seasons to complete, where we are only allowed to sign teenagers and not allowed to use players 30 or above from the second season. But if one of us is to win the Champions League before 13 seasons, it's an instant win. If not, it's down to whoever accumulates the most points from being more successful or selling players that we have brought for huge profits. Basically, Youth to Gold is buying young talents and making money at your club. And on this journey, Dad and I have found ourselves in France at Nantes and Lorient. But after 3 seasons, Dad has taken an early lead in performance and points, finishing in second place in Season 2 and playing well in the Champions League in Season 3. And he might be ahead 9-2 on points, however, it's still really early days in the Youth to Goal for me to catch up. Of course, after my bad season, I need to change my system, so I'm already thinking of going a lot more defensive with just one other attacker and utilising defensive wingers. It might mean, however, I may look to sell one of my young strikers already and use Krupi up top for this season. Dad was quick to be offering out his 29-year-old players, looking to offload them for the upcoming season as well. And is border optimistic as they are currently looking for investors to build a brand new stadium, moving away from the 38,000-seater, which doesn't seem too bad and was only built in the 80s. In the Nantes Youth Academy, though, was a player that Dad identified more as a centre-back, so he began training him in that position, as well as finding another centre-back from Inter Milan that he wanted to buy for the first team, and that transfer happened rather quickly. What he was concerned about, however, was his main striker wanting to leave and being transfer listed by request. I was made aware that one of my players was on the next gen list, but yet to feature in my first team. That might change. Dad was adding more quality to his side though, bringing in attacking midfielders as well as 2 defensive midfielders, where one of them was going straight on loan, while the other from Lille was going to challenge for a first team position. Meanwhile, I was selling my 29-year-old backup goalkeeper, and I had already found a replacement for him to bring in, who was also rather cheap. But this is when Dad's scouts went for the mother of all players and found a 19-year-old Serbian left midfielder that popped up. Dad immediately put in an offer. But with a few more players coming in and out, this season was about to begin. However, I held out to the deadline day before finally selling Sol, who refused to go anywhere on loan. And with the money I used to sell him, which wasn't much, I brought in my second player for the transfer window, centre midfielder. Well, Dad, I think I had to bite the bullet and sell Sol.
Yeah.
9 million in total, but it was like 4 up front. I really did think, there's a chance I could get points on this guy.
Yeah. Oh, well, it did look that way. He's good enough, but just no one come in for him, did they, really?
No one came in for any money for him. And I thought, right, well, I'll just loan him out then. Rejected every loan deal.
Yeah.
Rejected every single loan deal. I mean, I could have played him another season, but I feel like I've given 2 seasons as my first team striker and getting 18 goals in 2 seasons when he got 17 the season before.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
Is not good at all. For some reason, he's just not firing.
He still looks good.
He does.
He's still a player that you'd look at and you go, I'll buy him.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Whether it will come back and bite me eventually, I'm not sure. But I think I needed to bring in some money to actually bring in a player, because I did need another centre midfielder. So I've changed tactic. That's kind of the only transfer, him and a backup goalkeeper, because I needed to sell my other one for 900k. I mean, he's got good potential. 20 years old. He's going to be playing in the youth team there. So hopefully he'll just progress and get better. But those are the only 2 signings I was able to make because of the lack of money I had.
Yeah.
So tactically, I'm having to change things around from last season. I've gone a lot more defensive, bringing in my favourite defensive wingers, bringing in a DM there, going for 2 centre midfielders on attack with 1 advanced forward. And I can't drop Junior Krupi because, I mean, he's going to bring me in a lot of money soon. Won't bring him in any points because he was already at the club, but he'll bring me in a lot of money.
That's what you need, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you're going to get any transfer money anyway, does it? So
no. So I'm kind of holding him off for a couple of seasons till he's 27, 28, when I really do need to sell him. For now, I just need to use him. But I did need to start using Diallo. Now, me and Dad was laughing about this because we were kind of like, so why is he worth 68 million? With 5-star potential? There must be a reason. His potential must be good. So I'm going to try and give him some game time in that centre midfield spot. The time is now, because I need to start creating superstars. I haven't got the money to buy them. Like yourself. Because you've had an unbelievable window.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
You've had a very fun window, being able to spend money, and while I've just had to sit and watch. What's really weird, though, is I've actually really enjoyed watching you buy these players because it's youth to gold. Either way, I'm enjoying it as much as it's annoying it's not with my team.
Well, we're both the same. As soon as you see a good player, you go,
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
And bringing in Lujic.
Wow, when this guy came up, oh, the money. I mean, look how much he's worth already. Look.
Unbelievable talent at 19.
This was, like I said to you straight away, as soon as I seen him, this is a tactical change.
That you had to make because of him.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you had Muhammad Ali Cho already playing and occupying that position.
Yeah.
Which meant bringing him in, and he doesn't play there naturally. It's kind of like, well, you got to kind of use him now.
Yeah, I've got to change the team for that. Definitely.
He's got 3 assists in 5 games.
Average rating is 7 as well already.
Yeah, 6.5 million.
I mean, look at his average rating
steal.
for the last 2 seasons, look.
Yeah.
And how old is he now? 19, is it?
19 years old. Doesn't turn 20 until January as well.
Oh.
The 24th, Grandad's birthday.
Yeah.
So what's quite interesting is how well he's going to develop. I mean, already he looks, as we say, he looks like a superstar. He came in as a 4.5-star player of current ability, dropped off a little bit. But you don't get that very often in Youth to Gold.
No.
We're at the stage now where we're looking at players going, well, he ain't going to get into my first team, but we might be good in a couple of seasons. No, he went straight in.
Yeah.
But you did sign some more players as well. So let's take a look. It started off with Simon Gilbert, £4 million. Annoyingly, he was on my radar to sign if I made any money.
Yeah.
And then Dad had already seen him and picked him up because I didn't make a bid for him. So good £4 million deal for the young Frenchman. Ethan Brack, you keep signing Inter Milan's young centre-backs.
I do, yeah. And they're good as well.
They are good.
I do like Italian defenders, don't I? I've always said that.
Oh, he's from Belgium, but still. He come through the Italian Youth Academy.
Yeah.
So I'll let you off.
Yeah.
With the name of Ethan Brack. There's something wrong there. Italian, Belgium, but Ethan Brack.
Yeah.
Weird. And then we've got Mahefa, who is from Marseille, French right back.
I needed a second right back. I never had one in the team, did I? So this guy's quite good as well, and he can slip into the centre defence as well.
Yeah,
and got the wing a little bit. So
yeah, he actually comes into your first team as well, doesn't he? He's been playing 4 starts, 1 appearance off the bench. Then we got Martin Grindheim, who you've actually loaned back again. Only £4 million. It looks like a really good deal.
It does,
because it's one of those ones in Youth to Go where it's like it's only $4 million.
Yeah.
Like, are you either going to make his money money back, or I lose $4 million, which is nothing? It's a low risk move.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
loan back to odds.
He wasn't going to get him my first team, and they wanted him straight back. So
yeah, they've been playing
it's
him.
a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we finally, on this page anyway, got Suchi, who is been getting first team football for you.
Yeah.
The Slovakian. Just turned 20. You signed him before he turned 20. But really good mentals, physicals. Yeah, looks like a decent player. As we say, he started 3 games, played 2 off the bench. Looks quite good for just £3 million.
No-brainer again, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 million.
Unfortunately for me, yes.
Yeah, and he's worth double that already.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tactically, as you said, you switched. This was your tactic last season, remember? You've gone to now this.
So I've put a position in for the superstar there. There he goes right in that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's still looking good.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali Cho still resonates on that left-hand
that's
side.
a player I'm hoping sort of like he has a really good season for me there, and his rate will go right up, and then it's over next season or the season after I sell him in.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's 27. He's wanted already. You could have sold him if you wanted that extra 45.
I
but
want the extra season out of him. I reckon I can get a little bit more than that if he has a good season.
I would have done the same.
Yeah.
Because obviously the last couple of years, 18 goals, 10 goals. He's already got 1 and 1 assist and a good average rating.
And so he started even better this season. So.
Yeah. Alongside, of course, Gramada.
This guy's good, isn't he?
Yeah, who's developed quite well. 2 goals in 5 games so far. Serban's actually got the most goals for you this season. I do think he is obviously never going to get as many goals as the strikers. He's just had a great start to the season. 3 goals and 1 assist with 7.45. But let's look at the results then, because it hasn't been great for me again. You've had a great start.
Yes,
considering
I'm
you've
start.
played. I mean, started off not great against Reims, 1-1, but that could be worse. Red Star 3-0, Dijon 4-0. You're looking at that's great. A draw away to PSG.
Everybody got to take that ready, in you.
Yeah,
Definitely
and you're
a good
so
result.
spawny. They had 2 goals disallowed.
I scored a late goal as well.
Yeah, they had 2 goals disallowed, which is annoying.
You got to take that when you're playing away from them, though. We're the team they've got. We know they've got a good team.
And Saint Etienne.
And we know they got a good team as well.
Yeah,
so I'm going to
with
take
all
that
their
result.
money.
I know it was at home, but I'll still take that result.
With their £50 million still sat in their transfer budget of them not doing anything with it. So,
I mean, that for me, really, that's good because I've got the 2 hard teams out of the way now. Now, hopefully, I can go on a good run now.
yeah, absolutely. Your Europa League games at Siam, so you got Anderlecht, Partizani? Who's that? Albania. Olympiacos, Feyenoord, Slavia
Feyenoord.
Prague. Ending in two tough ones.
I've got to really do
You've
the
already
business.
qualified.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, because a Stamford Bridge trip, you need that to just be a meaningless game for you,
definitely,
really.
yeah.
Myself, though, I've got one win. It's not looking good. I have, however, played 3 difficult games. In Marseille, that was a tough one. Strasbourg, they've got that really good striker. In fact, they've got a few good players. And Lyon, who've just won the league away from home, and I got a 2-1. I didn't get battered.
No.
I haven't actually been battered, and I've scored in every game.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm trying to find positives. If you haven't noticed, trying to find positives. So I'm hoping that this tactic that I've created, it's been an okay start. It just picks up momentum. We get the goals. We just become defensively more structured. Because also, my best defender, Mionic, he was missing the first few games.
Yeah.
He is world class in terms of my team. Probably gets into the best team in the league. I think I just need to make sure, now that he's back, because he wants to move to a bigger club, that I can, start being a bit more defensively strong. That's my hope anyway. Fingers crossed, because I'm already behind. Dad's stepping up with the money, and I've got no money whatsoever. So season 4 of Youth to Gold is about to be a very interesting one to see how far I start to drop behind. But hopefully Diallo turns into a baller, and hopefully we don't get ourselves relegated or I get myself sacked. Let's see what happens. Well, my form didn't completely do a 180, but it certainly got better compared to the early season matches. And after going 1-0 down to Dad's Nantes side, we even pulled things back to go 2-1 up before half-time. Unfortunately for me, however, Dad's 2 attacking threats in Gramada and Cho were clinical in the second half, and turned Dad's fortunes around to win the match 3-2 and pick up another point versus me. In the Europa League, Dad qualified in the top 8 and actually defeated both Chelsea and Fiorentina unexpectedly. I was buzzing though, because I knocked out Rennes out the Coupe de France in the 10th round. However, Dad didn't make it that far and got knocked out by a second tier side. In the league though, he was sitting in 3rd place, level on points with Marseille, but 10 points behind PSG, and I was just happy to be mid-table after 19 games. In the round of 16 of the Europa League, Dad needed a result against Legia Warszawa in the second leg, but missed a penalty that cost him dearly, as they lost by 1 goal to the Polar side and are now eliminated. Meanwhile, in the Coupe de France, the cup run was so good for my Lorient side, we got all the way to the semi-finals, where we smashed through against Caen to win 4-0 into the final. And what's even better is we have Metz to play in the Coupe de France final, who are in the league below. Before then though, Dad chalked up another point with a victory at home against me, thanks to a 1-0 win to finish in 2nd place in the league. But on cup final day, my Lorient side played some beautiful football, scoring 2 goals and keeping a clean sheet to go on and lift the Coupe de France trophy, and to also secure a big 5 points, which was really crucial after Dad's great season. Get cup winners!
Well done. All the big teams got knocked out, so you've got to take a chances when you get it, and
what do you mean?
You took
Metz
it.
is a massive team.
Yeah.
They're in League 2. They're in
I
the
don't
2nd
know.
division. Can't believe I got to the final and I was thinking, who could it be? Metz. Take it.
Yeah.
But 2-0 in the final. We got the job done. That's the main thing. 5 points on the board just from that. And I needed it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I needed it because the 2 results against you this season did not go well. You beat me both times. 3-2 in the first game we played each other, 1-0 away from home with your new star man on the left getting a lot of goals. So that's 2 points you got already, and you finished higher in the league. Well, look at the league table. You had a really good season, Dad. 2nd
Only
place.
lost 4 games as well.
So you got the 2 points of beating me, plus 2 points, of course, for finishing higher. You got 4 points.
Yeah, pleased with that.
I get 5 points just from winning the cup, and I get European football next season. So I gain a point back, and that's the main thing for me right now.
It keeps it close.
Yeah, exactly.
And we look at PSG not losing a single game.
Not one single game.
Have a look at who did they draw against?
Drew 5. Both of us.
Both of us. So
Yeah.
we took points off them, so that's
We
good,
did.
really.
Yeah. I did it at home. You did it away from home.
Yeah,
you did it
you?
at their ground,
Yeah.
of course. So really good stuff.
Marseille taking
Marseille
2
held
draws,
them
so they demand.
to 2-0.
Yeah.
Oh, what a boring fixture. So yeah, they finished like miles behind you as well. You did really well this
I was
season.
pleased with that.
8
That's
points
good.
ahead of Marseille.
That gives me something to work at. It just goes to show you just got to be chasing PSG in you. So,
Yeah, which is why the points for winning the league is so high now.
Yeah.
We're doing 10 points for it. So Junior Krupi got 22 goals. Buzzing with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Really happy with that.
Good with that.
Muhammad Ali Cho, 7.68.
Is this
28 years old.
Is this when I'm going to be selling him then?
Wanted.
I wanted him to have a good season, didn't I? And he's had
Yeah.
it. So
You don't get points for selling him because he was already at the club.
It's the money I
but
could do,
it's
isn't
the
it?
money.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you bring in a big bit of money, then
I'll
that's...
take 50 for him.
Yeah.
It's in
I
between.
ain't got 50. We'll have a look. I don't think I've got 50. You had a goalkeeper, Daddy, got 15 clean sheets. Really good.
Yeah, we
as
know
well.
he's good, yeah.
Was one of your players, Muhammad Ali Chill, was at their joint 6th for 15. Serbin was there. So your striker wasn't there. Lujic is also there. Maybe an injury or something like
Yeah.
that. We'll have to have a look. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy. 8th place finish as well. Miles better than last season. It's something to build on. That's the main thing. Just didn't want to finish behind Rennes. I mean, I lost against them as well, which is... Oh, that sucks, but never mind. We'll have to. We take the positives from this season. And obviously, that's the only 2 competitions that I played in. Dad, you played in a European competition as well, and it was a bit of an embarrassing exit.
Yes. Bit
Thank you,
disappointed with
Volkswagen.
that, really. I wanted to get a bit further. I didn't know whether I was good enough to win it, but I wanted to get a bit further than that, just to sort of
Yeah.
like get you a little bit more money. But
Or even if you go out to somebody better.
Yeah.
That you don't mind. Like
Yeah.
if you played the likes of Chelsea Inter, United, who's in it, you're
Galatasaray or
like,
something like that,
fair
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, definitely Napoli.
But I mean, you didn't play the knockout playoff round because you had such a good league phase, finishing in
See,
third
I've done
place.
well in the league space. So
Yeah, lost to Slavia Prague, drew to Feyenoord, and 1-6. You even beat
Chelsea there.
away at Stamford Bridge. We mentioned that would be a tough
Marking,
one.
yeah, and I've done it.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, you'd already qualified in the top 8.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, you wanted to get that done. You did get that done. But
The actual
yeah,
the
that's
2 hard
disappointing.
games I said at the end of the season, I won both of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
dear, oh dear.
disappointing, really. Man
Yeah.
United went on to win it. They topped that group. They beat Galatasaray. Which, how funny is that? They were 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So they were the finalists and they went on to win it. So you could say that was fully deserved, really.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But you probably deserved to be a semi-final
Yeah, I
against
should
Inter.
have been better.
Yeah, with Inter. But there we go. You got to the 9th round of the Coupe de France. This is where you stumbled. While I was beating Auxerre, you lost to this team from the 2nd division.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, so that's quite bad. In the 10th round here, I was knocking out Rennes.
We knocked out PSG then.
Hell yeah.
PSG,
Suck on that.
won-
11th round.
PSG went through there.
They were knocked out by a 2nd division side,
penalties.
0-0 on penalties. Well, I was knocking out Monaco. I did knock out some big clubs, you
Yeah.
know. Well, that Rennes is a big club. They're scum of the F. Quarter-final, I knocked out Brest. Didn't make a tip myself in there. But the semi-final, Cannes, who I'd lost to earlier on in the season,
Give
and
a
I was
good
a little
eye,
bit
didn't you?
worried about. But yeah, 4-0 was a good result. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I lost against them. They ended up finishing in 14th. And I was a bit like, oh, God. So, a good season for both of us.
I think it is.
That's a
yeah.
positive season.
Yeah.
So let's look at the squad, what the statistics are, and obviously the development of some of these players. You got Muhammad Ali Chodad getting the most goals and 16 assists.
It's-
that complete forward role.
Yeah.
That's what's doing that.
I mean, if I sell him, it's a big loss. But the thing is, this probably could be his best season. So
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I'm going to have to take an advantage of that, especially seeing he's wanted as well.
Because he's 28, you can't guarantee he's going to get
No.
that in 29
If
where
he
you
has a
have
bad
to sell
if
him.
he has a bad season next season, I could end up with 10, 15 million less.
Exactly, yeah.
And would
He's
would
got
anybody
3
want him?
years left on his deal as
Yeah.
well. So,
I mean, I'm glad he did have a good season. That's what I was hoping for. So.
Yeah. Granada only got 16 goals, but what I can see is he didn't play as many games. He tore his calf and was out for 3 months in October, and then he had a double hernia and was out for 5 weeks at the end of the season.
So really, he done quite well.
Yeah, 16 goals in 26 games
Yeah,
isn't bad at all,
pleased with
really,
that.
is it? Then we got Serbin. So let's have a look at his development as well. I mean, Bravery's gone down a bit because of the injury, but
Still looks good, though.
still
doesn't
looks very good, yeah. Serbin, who got 14 goals for you there, not too bad. He is wanted.
Yeah.
Could you cash in, get 30 million, get 3 points, who knows? Lujic, though, got you 13 assists with 11 goals. Not a bad
Yeah.
first season.
Pleased with that.
Good bit of development there. Cologne actually got quite a nice amount of goals there too. If we're looking at in terms of ability-wise, we can see your goalkeeper's jumped up massively. He is unhappy. Feels a lack of squad depth in midfield, but that's something you can obviously rectify yourself. But he is wanted by Milan. And he's worth like over 50 million. And I think you didn't pay that much. 3 million. So if you sold him, you get 5 points straight off the bat. But this is what people were like saying, obviously, like, oh, I don't like that because it forces you to sell. But that's the whole point of Youth to Gold. You sell them to make more money, to then bring in better players. You just got to make sure you squad management.
The thing is, you've got to goalkeeper. Like, we know the goalkeeper is hard to find.
Very hard.
If I find another one, I've got no qualms about selling him.
Yeah.
Let him go.
Get everybody knows that's your favourite hobby. Signing keepers. That's where you thrive.
Yeah.
So even Mario Marin's developed quite nicely while he's been out on loan. That's a player you signed quite recently. Tarin, who's the other Ukrainian's done quite well. So good bit of development there in terms of some of your players, Dad. And we did, obviously, behind the scenes, we have been noticing a few players that have come through, the likes of Henry Diallo. I'm glad he was there straight away, that you picked up from the Youth Academy, who did quite well last season. Got 42 goals. No, sorry, 80 goals in 44 games for the youth team. You basically got your own Chido Obi Martin in there. With 14 player of the matches.
That's the thing, do I bring him right in there and start playing him? It's only 17, though. It's a bit too
17.
One more season, I think.
French League's very good at bringing in youth players, though. You look at all the youngsters.
Season, I think, and then bring him in.
Yeah, even like a loan deal maybe to a second division team could be really good. But your transfer budget next season's 12 million, so you've got something to play around with. It's not massive compared to what you had last season, about half the amount, but of course, you've got 85% of transfer revenue if you did decide to sell Mohamed Ali Cho, and your debts and loan is still quite high. But that's the beauty of Youth to Go. We've both got clubs who have got massive debts. You'll see the benefits of that, hopefully, when we are very far into Youth to Go and we're selling players.
That's another reason why we've got to sell the players as well.
Exactly.
We've got to be looking after the club that we're at as well. So
too many people always say to us, oh, you always put the clubs in debt. Try playing Football Manager without it. The only way to do it is Youth to Go, I think.
We only spend what they give us as a budget.
So, Lorient then, let's have a look at my players scoring the goals. Junior Krupi with 25. The only worry thing is I didn't have anybody else who got 10. My new signing, my transfer deadline day signing, got 8 there. Is that a bad injury? No, just shin splints. I've had that before, mate. Get up and grow. I played through shin splints. You need to get over that. Ricky van den Broek has done okay. He is wanted again, though. 12 assists. Ahmed Diallo, I stuck him in the team. Not a lot of development there, really.
Thought you would have got better, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with that. If we're looking at attribute-wise, from 12 months, not a lot of growth, really. A couple that's gone up 2, one's gone up 1. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with that, really.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a little bit more from the first season. Maybe we go again, another season, see how it is. Mionic, though, world class, is he?
That could be our first £100 million player.
Might be.
So
yeah, it might be. Wants to move to a bigger club as well, but nobody's interested. Nobody's coughing up
they're not
the
going to
money.
spend that money, though. That's the
no,
problem.
he's having good seasons for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what to do.
You need one of
yet.
the big guys to come in for him. Then you're like a Real Madrid.
No, I don't. Shut up.
PSG.
Wait until I've got a replacement first. Iona Manu is obviously the guy sat next to him. He's quite good as well, but nowhere near the standard of what Mionic is at right now, my Croatian centre-back, who looks to be one of the world's best. Cora Madden's done quite well, benefited of the fact that we sold Omar Sol. He managed to actually get registered this season and score a few goals. But my transfer budget is a very poor £2 million. And again, that's because of the finances just being so bad. 75% I've got. My debts and loans are less than yours, but I think financially, obviously, you just played in Europe. I'll hopefully get a little bit of money from that next season. But yeah, this is going to be another tight transfer window for me. There might be a couple of players that I can look to sell possibly. And then maybe I might just have to bite the bullet again and see if there's anybody in my youth team who's willing to step up. It doesn't look like there's anybody here, unfortunately. Oh, God. Take that back. It might be a very boring transfer window for me, youth to gold-wise. Dad might have a bit more of an entertaining one, but let's have a look at the points. So the season 4 points are Omega Luke with 5 and Omega Dad with 4, meaning the total points after 4 seasons is Omega Luke with 7 and Omega Dad with 13. With my finances being so bad, I had to look on the free transfer market and I actually found some suitable players to sign, although to make sure that they would agree to join me, I did bump the wages up quite a bit to have a more of an appealing offer. Dad offered out Muhammad Ali Cho and received some offers as well for the player to leave the club aged 28, and he was a lot happier to do so as well because he had found the perfect replacement in Denmark at Brøndby, a really good complete forward for just £9 million. Amad Diallo might not have progressed too much, but he was also on the next gen list. Cho finally decided Newcastle was the destination he was to make his £45 million transfer to, and that allowed Dad the money to confirm a new signing. And over the next few weeks, Dad spent the money he made from Cho on a number of different positions, bringing in players that can either support the squad in rotation options or fill out the second and the youth squads. I then had a crisis as I realised Mionic was in the last year of his contract and I knew I had to sell with interest coming from everywhere. And so I made sure I set an asking price just about high enough that I could gain £50 million in profit from when I bought the player, and therefore I would gain an extra 5 points in doing so, with all the money in upfront cash as well. Dad probably would have accepted a bid very similar to if it meant points, but Gramada was at the club before Dad got here, and therefore it doesn't count. Well, Dad, we mentioned how I might have had a boring window. This man made sure I didn't. Down to the last year of his contract, which I didn't realise when we were speaking earlier. A lot of bids come in for him. I did nail down the 5 points.
Yes.
I managed to do that, negotiated well, considering he was into the last year of his contract, but I miss him already.
Oh.
I really do.
This could be a bad season just because you lost him, really.
Yeah. I haven't really been able to replace him either. There's just nobody around that we could find or would even want to come to me. I did sign this guy as a replacement. Realise he's probably not quite good enough yet, so I've loaned him to a league below to get first team football, which at the minute he hasn't played a single game, so that's not good. A lot of players did come in though, and I started off by free transfers, so a couple of them come in, and Grandjean's actually played a few games. Greg Mofat's gone straight out on loan to hopefully get better. Pedro Samos, £4.3 million, gone out on loan already for to Laval, so hopefully he can score goals. He hasn't done so far. I'm hitting a lot of blanks at the minute.
Yeah.
I got a South African for 350k as a left back. He's gone out on loan. Ezat loaned back because I sold him. So as you can see here, £3 million loaned him back. Miguel Lopez, £15 million. He is at the club right now. Hasn't played a game for me yet. I'm going to make him available for the second team. So he already is. In fact, I'm just going to move him straight to the second team. That's easy. And then finally, Jorge Aranbari for £11 million is maybe the only one that's come in and made a bit of an impact so far. He's played 3 games and got 1 assist.
It's still not good for you, mate, is it?
It's not at all. And, well, I wasn't planning on changing my tactic after I won the cup last year, but this is the reason why I've had to change it. So the first 3 games, all losses. Then I thought, right, game against Dad, gotta change things around. Went to a 4-4-2. Dad picks up the point there with a 1-0 win. Lost the second game using it as well. So now I've changed to a strikerless tactic, which I used against Metz, and it got a 2-2 draw.
So, gone strikerless and you started scoring now.
Yeah. So as I said, this is what it looks like. It's something that I thought about before and I saved it, and then I went to what I was using last season instead. But I kept it, just in the off chance that I would need to, because of Junior Krupi being my only main guy who was scoring goals.
You'd think he would be scoring up front, wouldn't you? He does look good, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's not a striker, is he? He's an attacking midfielder. Whereas I was playing this guy up front, two games, didn't score a thing, got a terrible average rating, just nowhere near good enough. So I kind of had to. The best 11 puts Diallo in there, so I don't have to worry about that, which is kind of good. My only concern really is maybe do I put Aranbari in there instead of Kamal, who I think will be better in the long run, especially because he's got no pace. That's kind of what I'm thinking of. Gets 2 DMs in there, which I'm using quite well. Lakatos actually comes in now as a centre-back, where we've lost Mionic, who actually quite good centre-back.
Yeah, he does look good.
Somebody I didn't realise was that good, to be honest, after being at the club. So he's been here for £3.5 million. Played quite a lot of games off the bench last year. Got 5 games so far. So maybe he can be my replacement for Mionic, and I just have to hope and pray that this is good enough, because, yeah, it hasn't started off very well at all. Dad, a little bit more of a positive note. Let's see what you've been doing. Now, you did sell a couple of players.
Yeah.
Of course, we had to get rid of Mohamed Ali Cho, and he has gone £45 million.
Well, quite pleased with that. I said about 50 million, didn't I? So I got the 45, so I'm happy with that.
I actually think your replacement is arguably better.
It could well be, yes.
£9.5 million for Kenneth Windle-Killed.
Definitely pleased with this replacement.
Yeah, he's just turned 20 years old in August, but both feet decent. I mean, very similar attributes to Mohamed Ali Cho. Good technique, only 20 years of age. Goal and 2 assists so far with a really good average rating and £9.5 million.
The same start as what he had. Liverpool, wasn't it? So
yeah,
quite happy with that.
Lucas Preslier, £4.1 million, comes in as a centre back, can also play across the back three.
Just sort of strengthen the players up now, really.
Todorovic, £7 million.
Yeah,
another striker that's come in. Might not be at as many game time.
It's a case when you see these type of players, you think they're going to be half decent. You should have just get them in, especially when they're that cheap, in it really.
Yeah, and Tijan Mendes, left midfield.
And that's just in case my left midfielder does get injured.
Yeah.
Or it could even be a replacement, because I did have a few problems, didn't I?
Well, that was it. Not only what we haven't shown you is the amount of bids we've had to turn down.
Yeah, my 3 best players: my goalkeeper, my left winger, and my striker.
Yeah, Gramada had a few bids.
Wants to go.
He wants to leave to a bigger club. Lujic is already asking to leave to a bigger club, as well as is Hoyenhall unhappy.
Yes.
Wants to move to a club. I always think, like, all 3 of them are saying they want to move to so all 3 of you think you're good. Yeah. Which means technically you're playing a strong squad then.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we come second last season.
Yeah, I think it's the fact of, like, young players don't have a high reputation in the game.
No.
Which means they want to be seeing players with high reputation. And obviously you've just sold the only player that would have had that, Mohamed Ali Cho, because these guys haven't gained reputation yet.
That's right, yeah.
But attribute-wise, probably better. I think that's maybe a downfall of the game. But schedule-wise, you've had a good start to the season. Obviously, we've seen the win against myself. You also beat PSG.
I'm saying the first game of the season was against PSG, and I beat them, so that's their unbeaten run finished.
Yeah, on the first day of the next season. Draw against Monaco away from home as well. Ain't too bad. They scored in the 90th minute.
Yeah, disappointed with that. So
1-0 against me. We'll move on. Strasbourg 1-0. Sorry, yeah.
As well, yeah.
But I lost to Lille.
Yeah, disappointed with that one.
Jonathan David with a brace there. So Champions League fixtures, Dad, you could technically complete the challenge this season. Automatically, but some difficult games in there. Mionic playing for Real Madrid. Hopefully he scores the winner.
I'd like to think I could go through, but it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have Europa League football this season, so not much is going on in the league, but hey, maybe I'll win the Europa League and keep my job. Inter Milan and Villa seem to be the biggest teams in there, but the likes of Twente, Copenhagen, Besiktas can always be difficult as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting season to see whether, again, I can improve and keep my job. Because it seems like that 8th place finish was a foregone conclusion as to how well I can do this year is still up for grabs, so let's find out. I'll be honest, Strikerless wouldn't have been my first choice for this season, but nonetheless, it was getting better results. At least giving us some wins anyway. Meanwhile, Dab was sat above PSG in 2nd place and only losing 2 in 15 games and performing well. Dab was also qualifying for the playoff stage in the Champions League after 3 wins in the league phase. And after a win against Benfica in the next round across 2 legs, he went on to face Manchester City in the round of 16. But unfortunately, that's as far as they could go in the competition. I had a very impressive showing in the Europa League, winning 7 games and remaining unbeaten in the league phase. However, I failed to score against a 5-at-the-back system in the round of 16 and lost 1-0 to Red Bull Salzburg. Dad and I also clashed in the quarter-finals of the Coupe de France, where the result was an embarrassing one. A 3-0 victory for Dad, securing 2 more points, and that season going to the semi-final, where PSG are nowhere to be seen again, and Nantes have to be the favourites to win. I at least gained a bit of payback against Dad with a 90th minute winner on the final day of the league campaign, securing just 1 point. But ultimately, it meant nothing to either club in the league, as Dad had already secured a UEFA Champions League spot for next season. Plus, Dad's side were far too occupied focusing on the cup final match against Lille, a cup final they went on to win. Well, looks like we both won the cup. Annoyingly, because I thought that was actually some decent points to me, and then you go and win it the following season. You had a harder team to beat in the final, mind.
Yeah.
Much harder team, but look how well your team actually played. Everybody played over a 7 rating, which is fantastic. No wonder why you managed to win it. And of course, in that quarter-final, you knocked me out of it as well. 3-0 victory, which was where PSG fell at the same time too, which meant you actually went into the semi-final with a team from the 3rd tier and the 2nd tier plus Lille, and didn't manage to draw Lille. So you played somebody from the 3rd tier. I'd be ashamed you conceded a goal.
I don't care. I won it.
There we go. In the Champions League, you did all right as well. Round of 16, being knocked out by Man City. Ain't bad, is it? 7-2, but, you know, still getting there is the thing, because you also knocked out Benfica.
That's a good result, beating them.
Not a bad campaign in that. Finished in 20th place. 5 losses.
I lost to Benfica there as well, so knocking them out was quite good.
Won 3 games, so that ain't too bad at all. But yeah, in the league, 4th place. You gained another Champions League spot for next season. So fell off from the 2nd spot. Yeah. But it's still not too bad.
I'm still happy with that season. I mean, winning the cups made the season, so it's as far as I'm concerned, it's a winning season.
Yeah.
So, if it had been just no cup in that, I'd have been disappointed, because obviously I've dropped 2 places.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of disappointment, there I am in in 10th spot, but highest I ever got was 8th. So I'll take that as kind of a win.
You took a bad start of the season. You can see that, can you?
Yeah.
So you pulled it back from that, really. You was only going one way until you got to quarter of the season, and you dropped a little bit again, didn't you?
So it ain't too bad. It could have been a lot worse. You were in 2nd for majority of the season and dropped off. That's where you had some troubles there. And Lille and Marseille.
That's a pity.
Lille? Is that Lille or Marseille? Yeah, Lille were top for so long.
Yeah, I was chasing
ahead
them,
of PSG.
PSG did what PSG did, don't they?
Yeah, came in and swooped in at the end. Vitor Roque with 19 goals. The also highest average rating on quite a lot of the things there. Hoyen Hall with 13 clean sheets, which is good.
It is good, but can I keep him? That's the problem, isn't it?
Yep, that's the trouble. In terms of your player statistics then, well, actually, let's have a look, because I have the Europa League, of course, round of 16 by Red Bull Salzburg. So kind of a disappointment, because I didn't score a goal in the 2 legs. But I didn't play in the knockout playoff round. That's because league phase-wise, I did actually really well.
Chelsea,
yeah.
That is such a shame.
Drew to Inter 1-7. So huge results in there as well. Beating Aston Villa at Villa Park. A very good finish indeed. So I actually did quite well in that competition.
Yeah, we did.
Galatasaray went on and won it, funny enough. So fair play to them. They beat Salzburg and knocked me out. We'll start with my squad then. The disappointment. 17 goals for Junior Krupi. Obviously, I went away from a striker. Well, I went to a strikerless tactic, but you still want to see more goals.
You do, but I got to admit, that's more goals than I thought he was going to score in that position, to be honest with you.
But it's one of those things, because, like, I mean, we look at statistics, the fewest conceded, you're up there, I'm not. But most goals, I'm also not there.
Yeah.
But I didn't do too bad in terms of the league. So it's one of those things, really, isn't it? It's done all right. Finishing 10th place, I think too bad, considering how we started. Just kind of steadied the ship. And if you look at my results, I mean, we can also obviously see I got battered by you in February. But the other game, of course, lost against you at the start of the season.
You had a good run then after that.
I beat you on the final day.
Yeah.
3-2. And there was goals in my games. Sometimes we just didn't score enough, I guess. So 17 goals for Junior Krupi. Where I go from this, I don't know. Maybe I need to go back to a more traditional tactic and look to sort of build upon that. Diallo is one of those players that obviously I need to build around, but he's just not gaining enough progress as what I'd hope. But they still rate him at £87 million. So there must be something within that.
Yeah, got to be, innit?
So we'll see how that one plays out. A few of my players I might look to cash in on, but £1 million again. It's not
good,
giving me
It's
much.
not good.
No. Loan deal did quite all right. 9 goals in 31 games, but it is Laval who is in the second tier, finishing in 11th place. The Elks have the very similar kit to me. Do I try and play him and see if he can do well in the top division?
Well, you got to look at
Really
it. He wouldn't have played in your team.
No.
So he's had a season of playing and scored goals.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, where I go from this, I'm not quite sure. In my development center, there's a couple of players. Obviously, Miguel Lopez, who played quite a lot of games in their last season. 8 goals in 16 games. That ain't too bad either. So maybe I look to do that and utilize him next season. Go for 2 up front and go the complete opposite of what I was doing.
Yeah.
And try and find a system that works. Dad, let's have a look at yours then. Goals-wise, 25 for Gramada, the Romanian striker. But the backups is good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the one that replaced Muhammad Ali Cho coming in with a very good start. 17 goals, 12 assists.
Yeah, pleased with that.
Yes, your backup striker got 17 goals with only 16 starts. So I would be really happy with that if I were
definitely,
you.
Yeah.
A good amount from your winger as well, development-wise. Hasn't changed that much.
No.
In 2 seasons when you got it.
He's gone over the 100 million value, though.
He has, yeah. 102 million.
Ooh.
So if you did look to sell him, how much, if you wanted the full 10 million, you'd have to sell him for over a whole 10 points, sorry. You'd have to sell him for over 106 million pounds.
I ain't going to get that, am I?
No, it'd be a tough ask to get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of these players are developing a little bit more.
One more season of keeping him and him having a good season, I think.
Well, yeah. Kalanas. He don't look as amazing as what the star rating suggesting he is, but goalkeeper-wise, again, you're kind of solid there unless you want to sell him for a big profit, but it's whether you want to at this point, really, isn't it?
I don't want to, but he doesn't want to stay. That's a problem,
Yeah,
isn't it? And there was teams chasing him last season, so I might not have a choice.
No.
I want to keep him.
Put into a corner like ours.
Yeah.
Your transfer budget, £33 million. There's no wage in there, so maybe switching it around, you've had probably about £25 million if you had a look at that. But let's have a look at the points. Points-wise for season number 5, Omega Luke gained 6 points and Omega Dad gained 8, meaning the total points are Omega Luke with 13 and Omega Dad with 21. Yeah, so the selling, of that player gaining me £50 million is keeping me in it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
At the minute, else you'd be running away with it.
Yep.
So I need, I say I need a big summer. I have nothing. So I need a profitable summer where I come out and find some absolute gems and maybe a new system. And I just really got to hope that you fluff up a transfer window.
I was going to say, I could be selling 2 players and get 10 points out of it.
I know, that's the trouble.
Oh.
So we'll have to see. This could be a very interesting summer. An interesting summer indeed as we fly into season number 6 of the Youth to Gold.